Or to this computer. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Aligning with Success. I'm your co-host, Mike DiMuccio, and we have Dave Rolfe. It is November the 25th. Dave, when do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
This Thursday.
Okay. So for those of you who are planning on having an ABC this Thursday, you'll have me. If you have a guest for that particular call, definitely let me know in advance. Otherwise, you'll be celebrating Thanksgiving with Dave in the US, I'm sure. Okay.
Well, there's so many things on Thanksgiving. You got Turkey Day, you got the Macy's Parade, you got NFL football, you got family, you got, it's just one of those days.
Yeah, no. I hear you. It's I've not yet been invited to a US Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping that that comes sometime sooner than later.
Well, come on
Um,
down. You're more than welcome.
thank you. Okay, I don't have I do have the agenda in front of me. Give me 1 second so I can just read. Okay, where do you stand with your goal? What's left to be done? What has been working? I definitely want to hear that. What needs to be added or tweaked? Who can help? Remember, it isn't over till it's over. So, given that this call has um, a very specific purpose. It is to guide and assist people in getting the job done. The job being whatever it is that you've set about for the month. And it's month specific. The reason it's month specific is because we need to start tracking and producing results that are measurable, tangible, and deliverable so that we can duplicate those results. And if we don't have a goal and then a means by which we can actually help people achieve that goal and then track the activity during that, we have no way of tweaking. We have no way of understanding what needs to be done or what needs to be tweaked. So today is that call. What's left to be done? What has been working? What needs to be added or tweaked? Who can help? And remember, it's not over till it's over. So that's the theme for tonight's call. Before we get into the call, though, I got to tell you something. I went to see a doubleheader in at the theaters, which these days it's almost who goes to the theaters anymore? But I'm telling you, they were packed because there were two grand slam home runs playing at the theater this weekend. One was Wicked, which is absolutely brilliant. Talk about an incredibly well-made production film, talent, just oozing with talent. And I just before getting on this call, I watched a little clip on the making of the movie from the point of view of the sets and the director and so forth. They actually made the sets. It's literally it's I can't stop talking about this movie. I thought one of the best films I've seen in a long time, like on the lines of like The Greatest Showman. And the other movie that I saw was Gladiator. Gladiator 2. Again, a very, very good film. I think I still like Gladiator 1 better, but two really big hits. So what's really good to know or to comment on about this is that it looks like people are getting comfortable again showing up and going to theaters, which means they're kind of resuming a pattern of behavior that was synonymous pre-COVID, which is really, really good because our business does really, really well when we're live and interactive with people. So if you're thinking about a live event, start somewhere. Start in your home, start in your living room. Live events are where it's at, where our business is concerned. That's where most of the big production gets done. If we look anywhere, it's not online sales. The online activity is just the mechanism to get the sale or to get the order placed. But the actual interface, the interaction, it's the live meetings that make our business tick. So, um, anyone want to go first about how your month is going with respect to your goals? What's working? What needs to be tweaked? Where are you at? Be honest. Let's be straight up. This call is not entertainment. This call is about getting the job done. So let's get the job done. We need to know what's going, what's working, what's not working.
Okay, Michael, I got to start. Okay.
Yeah.
So my objective was to work on attracting attention. As you know, I created a funnel page which was directed towards the wellness home. Now, I decided to go with Google Ads. I've never done Google Ads before. I did emails with it. I did Google Ads, and I'm going to do Microsoft Bing because I'm testing the efficacy and the reach of what people are interested in. And I happen to have a niece who is high up in Google Ads, so I have a little bit of an advantage here on the tweaking. But so far, I started the campaign on November 11th. It's now the 25th, and I've had 887 clicks and 16,000 impressions in that period of time. And now here's why I'm saying this and why this is important and why it relates to this time of the month. And I'll come back. I was looking at the admin there. I have no idea what that means. Okay. So I haven't enough experience to say whether this is good, bad, or indifferent yet. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to find out over a period of time because I have a rep that I work with, and he's going to show me how to tweak things, and my niece is going to help me how to tweak things, and we're going to get conversions. But I have had the first lead go to my web page and fill out the survey. So the funnel has created a flow of activity. Now, we talked about this last week in the sense of you're doing a goal. You said at the beginning of the month, you got 4 weeks in the month typically. You break it down into quarters. You set yourself up with the activities that you know work. You go do the activities, you monitor the result, and then you come back. And it's kind of like you make the football team, the quarterback, they call the play in the huddle, and then they go up to the line, they call the play, and then whatever happens, then they go from there and they adjust the play. You come back and start all over again and keep tweaking it. So the eventuality of the result of doing the activities is an understanding of what's working and what's not. So if I go back to my very first business, my objective, we had to do 40,000 to go silver, so it was a little bit different. So we did 18,000. There were 18 people in the group, and I evaluated and I saw, okay, 18 people, 18,000, it's an average of 1,000 a person. So if I want to do the 40,000, I have to figure out how to get 40 people in my group. And what we did the next month is we got 49 people that did an average of 1,000, and we did 49,000, and four of us went silver, four in a row, bang, 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 bang. But I had a team of 50 people all on the same page wanting to go to the next level, which for them was, with the exception of the four, there were the three others to go to silver. So there was a perception that was gained by doing the activity to then monitor what's next. So we're in the last week of the month. We had a special this month for those of us that have groups in Latin America. They did a buy three get or buy two get one free on for that's what they do in Latin America. So all of a sudden the volume skyrockets in Mexico, just goes out through the roof. So I didn't know there was a special. So I called the company. I said, well, what happened down in Mexico? Oh, we had a special. It's the pre-Thanksgiving, pre-holiday. So, okay, very successful action because it took the volume from this level to that level. So now I understand what to do. What's happening in the United States is I'm looking at the free shipping is causing more activity and more action, again, successful action. So now I'm planning my month and I'm planning my goal and I'm planning to achieve it by the end of the month. Now I've got some actual resources, results that I can utilize and monitor to say, okay, what am I going to do for the next 5 days? Now we have Thanksgiving, so Thursday throws a kink in the mix because most people take off Thursday, but we still have Friday and Saturday, and we can still finish off the month and have a really good month. So that's the idea that I'm interjecting to be thinking about as you're building your business, that each week is a strategy. week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. We're in week 4. This is the last one. So this is the button-up month, the button-up week. This is to finalize the goal. This is to gather all your resources. This is the time where you look at and pull in, the help and the support. Okay, here's the goal. This is what we got left. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. You give the orders. You get things going, and so on and so forth. But I really want to tell you the secret here. It started on the first day of the month.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it on the first day of the month, it's really hard near the end of the month to create it when you don't have anything that's building up towards getting it done. So that's what I have to say. That was what I'm doing this month.
Excellent, Dave. Thank you. And just to feed into that, by the way, one of the things that actually helps make a week functional is to have an event in that week that you're planning your activities around. So if you were having, let's just say you were having a cocktail party for Christmas or something next Thursday, what would you be doing? You would be inviting people, you would be planning catering or whatever what you were going to do there, etc. There's activity involved. And of course, as you get closer to the day of, you have all the details and an acceleration of the work that goes into it as you get closer and closer to the date with Destiny. So I'm going to suggest, if you are not hosting an in-home, even if you have nobody to invite as of today, plan an in-home next week. Plan an event next week, because it will force you to do something you're not doing. And that's the key to changing your results. If you're not happy with your results, you got to change your activity.
Mike,
So,
I'm gonna add something to that, but
go
I
ahead,
do
Barbara.
share. I'm going to invite you because a lot of us have beat the heck out of our contacts and people and who lives within the 90-mile radius of us. But who lives about 20 minutes to a half an hour away from you that be willing to have a coffee or a tea? So coffees to me are 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning, and teas are 2 to 4 in the afternoon. And who'd be willing to have a hosted event, like an opening, like a connection, like a little gathering of her friends, and invite people over for you to speak with? And that's the beauty of this. I've done this when I go to different towns. That's what I always did. And Mike, they love it. People love to have coffee and teas. And I would tell the people in New Orleans, no saucer and cup. You got to have a mug, and you got to have a cookie or a mup, so that they're not busy with their hands trying to figure out the food. But, you make it simple and you make it easy, and you just come in and out. You're just sharing the technologies and then signing people up. I had a lady that was, older, and she loved the ankle wraps for her hands. And her name was Miss Wagman. And she said, Barbara, I only got one wrap in the mail, but I have 2 hands. And so anyway, she hosted a party for me, and those ladies didn't want to eat, didn't want to have coffee. They were all about their exercise and their, what they were doing. I did the fastest 15 people presentation in a half an hour, and they were all gone. And out of the 15 people, I think I got 8 customers and about 2 or 3 more orders. So I'm just saying, you just want to get into other people's people and ask people for your help. So that was a segue of what you were sharing, Mike. My goal, and it's upstairs, but my goal was 3 executives, something. And I talked to you about the one gal. Finally, after I feel like it's been 2 years, she signed up. She got a power band, that's it. But she got one in the mail, and she wasn't sure which one to get because her boyfriend is a professional golfer. And so, because we don't know whether a necklace or a ankle, which one's coming in with the kit, right? We don't know which one's arriving. So anyway, what I found that I'm missing is she said, I want to start in January. I said, that's perfect. We'll do your 90-day launch in January. But right now, you need to get educated. You need to be doing your homework. You need to be getting your list out. So I made the 200 name list. One of them's within 90 miles of her house. The other one's outside 90 miles of your house, right? Even though we're on Zoom and other things, I wanted to know what's in the area and what's outside the area. And then doing homework. And darn if she didn't go MIA on me again. So I'm like, what the heck? I need to get her to read, the 4-year career. I need her to, I need her to be doing something. The rubber needs to meet the road, and it's not happening. And there's not, so
Can I, Barbara,
yeah,
stop
help.
wasting your time. You've got so much attention and energy invested in somebody who's not showing up for this, then if you need to find somebody who's going to show up, who's going to be knocking on your door. So I know what happens, and this happens to everybody. They call it hatching a China egg. You're sitting on an egg hoping that it's gonna hatch because it's the only egg you got. That's the problem, guys. We're 10 people on this call, 17 people on this call, and there's 160 million homes out there, and only about 1.25 million of them have ever heard of this. What are you wasting your time for? Start asking people for people.
I went this morning. I dropped my dog off at a vet in the next town over. And I know one lady. So I said, can I come have tea with you? I'm bringing my own cup of tea. I'm just coming for a half hour. I brought 2 PCCs and I brought 2 J Greenzymes. She's got a waterfall. So I want her to host for me another party. I want her to gather.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing there because I need to get into other people's people.
Get into the ask. I had a gardener here cleaning up leaves and whatever last minute stuff before all the winter stuff comes in. And I go outside and she's like, I can't stay much longer because my blood sugars and my feet and whatever. And I'm like, what's wrong with your feet? And she says, oh, I can't feel my toes, la, 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 it's been forever, diabetes, da, 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 or my wrist. And she just goes on and on. So I said, give me a minute. I go inside, grab a pair of women's insoles, say, throw these in your shoes. She throws them in their shoes. 2 hours later, I go back outside. She says, I can't believe this. I can feel tingling in my feet. I haven't felt that for years. And then she starts asking me all the questions. What else you got? And what is this? And what you bet? And then my daughter, my dad. So that process is well underway. So yeah, it's just a matter of asking, show and tell, ask. I like letting people experience because that speaks louder than anything I could have said. I could have razzmatazzed anybody, not very convincing, but let it just say, here, put these in your shoes. And then magic happens because that's what happens. So it's get more of that happening. Get more of that happening. You brought up an idea here, coffee, tea. Luis suggested something.
I just want to say, so I have a constant contact because I just couldn't wait on the company to have the blast, right? So I sent out a blast. A blast is going out tomorrow. Hey, free shipping on anything, everything. So it's like the reminder. And I've got about 5 people that might do the filters and such. But I'm also talking to parents or people that might buy the waterfall for their kids or start a business for their kid, right? How many people do you know have their kids on payroll?
Barbara, how many people did you ask this week if they'd like to make an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month?
0. It's not what I'm asking. And I get it. It's a mindset. And I have to say I have a glitch and I don't need to go into it, but I'm now moving to New Orleans and it's okay. It's where I am, but I'm not moving until
hold that thought.
Can catch up.
Getting back to that coffee tea thing. So
yeah.
Luis said one of the things that's working in Latin America is healthy breakfasts. So you now have a shake. I just got yesterday my 10, was it yesterday or today? I think it was yesterday. My 10 shakes came in. guess what everybody's getting for Christmas? So neighbors, friends, because what is that going to turn? That's going to turn into interest. That's going to turn into repeat sales because the thing is amazing. And so that's how I'm investing in my business through Christmas this year is rather than giving somebody a bottle of wine, which is typically what I do when I go to the Christmas parties in the neighborhood, they're getting a Kenzen Vital Balance. Now, most of them are already familiar with the Nikken products. Some of them are already Nikken customers. My next door neighbor, she's like the biggest fan of the sleep system. I think she's had 5 or 6 through her
Maybe you
customer
need to add
ID.
socks to that.
So what I'm doing is that, but the healthy breakfast thought, the idea of inviting people over for a healthy breakfast, mixing a shake, letting them experience that, instead of having that conversation, could turn into something. So that's just a thought. But I'm curious, did anybody on this call invite somebody to explore the possibility of making an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month this week? Did anybody ask that question of anybody?
1,000 or 500 to 1,000?
5,000 to 10,000.
Mike, I
Paul,
can't.
you,
I
Paul,
can't
you,
tell how to do that.
yes, you can. You have access to me. You have access to Dave. You can certainly show them how to do that. Paul, you're muted, Paul. You're still muted.
I just while we were waiting for Paul to get on, I did a three-way because Madeline Zaworski asked this guy in Verizon if he'd be interested in making an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a week. She put me on the phone instantaneously with this guy. We ran him through a quick ABC and to move on to do that. So, she did that 3 times this week.
Beautiful.
That's what it takes, guys.
I did.
Yes, you did. Go.
Okay,
Tell us about it.
This was a taxi driver who seemed to recognize me and know me from before. And, just in talking, that he has children and he needs more income. And now I did something that you recommended that we do last week was to ask him how serious he was. When I asked him if he wanted to create an income of $5,000 to $10,000 a month, I said, well, how on a scale from 1 to 10, how serious are you? And he said, oh yeah, I'm a 10. So okay, so then I had him put his number in my phone, or no, he sent me a text. Then I discovered that I already had him in my contacts. So we had talked about this before. And I said, are you the same person? I have somebody else by your name in my contacts. And he said, yes. So I said, okay, I'm going to send you the next, the video that I might have sent you before. And this time I want to know, I want you to listen to it. So that's where it's at. But this asking them how serious they are, I think is important.
Most
and
certainly.
You have to get practiced at asking that question because people feel shy. Some people do, and I find that the more I ask it, the better I am at getting at doing it.
It's what stands between you and what you want, guys. It's getting over yourself. Get your ego out of the way. Shyness, embarrassment, all that stuff, that's all ego. You pretend that it's, being kind or whatever, personable. It's just all ego. It's a mask. If you were dead serious, like think about kids in the play box. They don't have a problem asking, talking. If we get out of our way and stop behaving like children and behave more like adults that have confidence and have something to say and have something to offer. The question is, do you really believe you have something to offer? Barbara, you said you didn't ask because you don't know how to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. You just have to ask. I didn't say if you need to know how to do it, but if you need to know how to do it, all the people on this call, what's your biggest check in Nikken bin, Barbara? Seriously, what's your biggest check in Nikken? You're muted.
$178,000 in 1 month.
Okay, so you're struggling with the idea of making $5,000 or $10,000 for a person who made $178,000 in 1 month, and that's US dollars. For us, that's like $1 billion Canadian.
I don't have Mexico and I don't have Europe anymore. And
Well, it
you're
doesn't
right.
matter. It doesn't matter. You
Right.
did it. You know how to do it. It's in your cell memory. So the question is, what's in the way? Your ego.
It's
You're stuck with something in your mind, in your mind's eye. Get out of the way. Somebody's going to come along with this business and make $1 million a month. Somebody's going to do that. Nikan plans on doing $500 million a year in business as of 2030. That means somebody is going to be making pretty damn well near close to $1 million a month. I just want to know who that somebody is and if they're going to be in your downline, Barbara, or Leo's downline, or mine in one way or another, or Dave's. I really don't care.
Michael,
I want
this is
I
very
know
interesting because I went to a seminar on Saturday and
I
the guy
want
was talking about communication and how effective and what communication can do for somebody else. And when I started to think about it, when I first got approached, I was making a presentation about selling another product altogether, and the guy said to me, "Wow, that was the best presentation I ever heard." And those words started my lifelong career as a network marketer. So, what you really have to understand is the power you have in your communication and how it can affect somebody else. And don't worry about it from the standpoint of what you think, because it has nothing to do with what you think. It has everything to do with what the other person hears and their circumstance. So, as I've talked and you've heard my story a gazillion times, I had a problem. I needed to make $8,000 a month. And then what I realized was that if I talked to other people and asked that same question enough times, I'd run into other people who were also in the same boat. And that was it.
you're,
That
you
was the magic that would happen is if I ran into somebody that was in the same boat, then we would collaborate. So what you really have to understand about what Michael's saying, but what I'm saying is that if you don't ask the question, then you have no opportunity of changing the life of somebody else. If you do ask the question, then you do have the ability to change the life of somebody else.
What I want to learn from you is that plan that you said, okay, I have a plan to make $8,000.
Barbara, get somebody on the Thursday night call and you'll see the plan.
Yeah, simple. Or call us up after this. So again, what's really important here is tonight's planning and strategy. So I would like to hear from those people that are working on a goal, what they're doing, what the results are, how effective are they, what do they need some help, et cetera, et cetera.
Who'd like to go next?
Come on, guys, be real, be transparent.
All I can say is I've been talking with people. Topics is who do you know wants to lose money? Yes. And I say the only way you're going to keep your income low, inflation, is to have a cash flow business. And it starts there. But then I ask them if they know someone who is interested in making money. I like to talk about, Mike, you got my attention a couple of weeks ago when he mentioned the word system. What again is a system, kind of like McDonald's is a system.
Is it me or is it
get
Wes? You're kind of cutting in and out. Is it me or are you guys also hearing that?
Yeah, we're hearing that too. It's Wes's.
Okay. Go ahead, Wes.
The connection gets crazy once in a while. It's the AT&T. So anyway, I talk about McDonald's, and why does somebody buy a McDonald's franchise? Well, because they have a system. And if you follow the system, you make money. If you don't follow the system, you're not going to.
Pretty straightforward.
System. That's it.
That's it.
That's really it. And I
Do,
can,
do you know, do you know how much is invested in Niken's infrastructure, in their system, and more still being invested so that you have a system
I have a
that
system.
that they invested in, not you,
So,
they.
so I show them the system and they can follow the system or not follow the system. And if they follow the system, they will make money. It's neat. If you follow the system, you'll make money.
And if you happen to like the products, you'll be happy about that too.
And every dollar you spend is on yourself.
You know, I was watching the core consultant chat over the last 48 hours. Honest to God, I want to blow that chat up. I absolutely want to decimate that chat. I want to call it the core consumer. Because what were they talking about over and over and over? The socks. The socks would be great. The socks would be. Every conversation about the socks was how you feel as a customer. I didn't hear one business conversation at all on the core consultant chat, which specifies this chat is for core consultants who are building a business, not people who are raving about the products because they love using the Niken products. Do you understand how frustrating it is for a business builder to be hosting that chat that's been created for business builders and has been taken hostage by raving fans? I don't have anything against raving fans. What I have against is focus. What are we doing on the core consultant chat? What is that chat about? It's about best practices. Read. It actually has a description of the chat. Click on the chat title and you'll see what the description of the chat is, and you'll understand what the purpose of that chat is. But leave it to Niken people to take everything business and turn it into a product conversation.
Well, you know, it's the order of the pillars. First, it's the body. Then it's, you know, the mind.
Masuda's first objective was to make money.
First one.
That was his first pillar. He built Niken, started Niken so he could pay for his son's operations, not so he could heal people.
Right.
Right? So it's like, guys, if you wonder why your business isn't growing, it's really straight black and white.
And then I'd send somebody to the Niken website and they'd start pushing product at them.
Exactly. Paula, your hand is up. Talk to us.
Yeah, I mentioned it to my husband about, you know, do you want the socks back to build a business or because you love the socks? And my husband says he's probably trying to figure out what's what, you know, and he says, if you love the product, that's one thing. He says, but you got to sell it in order to advance the brand.
Right, right.
Did you have to like a McDonald's Big Mac in order to get McDonald's franchise?
Do you have to be a woman to be the number one salesperson in women's clothes?
No.
You know, some of the best designers are men. Some of the biggest brands are men's carrying women's lines. So the business conversation is not a product conversation. It's a business conversation. The product is what makes the business viable. And if you have a great product, that's great. And network marketing is something that allows people who are fans about the product to talk to other people, should give you the confidence to talk to other people. But if you want to build an organization, if that's your motivation, because you want to get your paycheck into the thousands, not into the hundreds, retail will get you into the hundreds, into the maybe lowball thousands. But if you wanted to get to the tens of thousands, you got to build a network of people building a network, a network of people building a network, a network of people building a network, not a network of people just using products. So a network of people building the network is what creates viral growth. It's like when a video goes viral. Why does it go viral? Because people share it. Share it. All of a sudden, the next person watches it and shares it. And so that's what causes a video to go viral. Something to go viral is because it becomes shared. It's a shared thing. It's the sharing of it. And that's the key to the network marketing business, is the share mechanism. The question then becomes, what are we sharing? If you're sharing the product, you sell the product. If you're sharing the opportunity, you sell the opportunity. What do you want to share?
And look what people spend money on. You know, they spend money in order to be able to be a
Lost you. Lost you, Wes. They spend money on to be able to be something.
spend to get be a
Well, look at the stock market. The stock market is a great example of people investing money to make money. They're not investing money because they love some product. How much money is in the stock market for the sake of making money? So we need to really take stock of this, because if things don't change, nothing's going to change. If things don't change, nothing's going to change. The results will not change. We won't get viral. And so the only way we're going to get viral is if we can definitely attract other people into the business opportunity, which means there has to be a representation of that. And I have all the confidence in the world to sell Nikan. I am confident in my. How many of you saw my pitch, my sales pitch of the Nikan opportunity on the Seiko Kai 2 weekends ago? Okay, pretty compelling pitch, right? So, hey, get us some ears, some eyeballs, and we'll do the pitch. Dave and I have the confidence to sell the opportunity because we know this is viable. You know, we know what it looks like 33 years to, less than a month from now, it'll be 34 years for me. I know what 34 years of Nikan looks like from a business point of view. I can speak to that with great confidence. And I know that was the first 34 years. Can't wait to see what the next 34 years are going to look like.
So I did the first funnel, which was based on the product to create interest. I've just now completed a business funnel, and I did some research. And here's what people are searching for. Business opportunities are typically looking for ideas related to emerging trends, low competition markets, unmet consumer needs, new technologies, profitable niches, and ways to leverage their existing skills, often searching for terms like low investment business ideas, online business opportunities, home-based business ideas, franchising options, drop shipping, e-commerce platforms, digital marketing services, sustainable business models, AI-powered business ideas, growing industry, and market research tools. That's what's going on right now in our world, what people are looking for. So now interpretation is key here, because what do we have? Well, we have all of that. What you have to be able to do is communicate that to the person that's searching for whichever they're searching for. So if they're searching for a home-based business, we got a great home-based business. If we're an unmet customer need, we have a huge unmet customer need. If we're talking about niche products, we have a sleep system that nobody else in the world has.
Hey, Dave, would you send me that? That to me sounds like a good slide that preempts the opportunity slide.
I'll post the web page is this. It's smartnetworkerbusiness.com. There you go. Smartnetworkerbusiness.com. The whole funnel's there. And what I'm trying to do is experiment with how to communicate and get results, so that once this is done, then we can replicate this. Because we all have different ways and different audiences. The key is I don't want to pass on something that's not working. I want to pass on something that creates results. So the first one's creating results. Now we just have to, take it one step further, give it a couple of months. And
that's what happens. The tweaking and so forth is what hones it. It's and so forth. Leo.
Yes. Sounds good.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I share you how I work?
Your French is terrible, though.
I make a lot of contact with the American with TikTok, and I practice my English with the application is Depot. And the girls over the side said your English is so good. I'm French Canadian, so with the application, you see, I have a Zoom call tomorrow night. So I just want to ask you how I work, if you want. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just share. Here the question when I did when I meet somebody live, okay? I did twice yesterday. I said, how old are you? For it's optional for if you're a woman. Oh, okay. If did you win enough money with your work? Second question. The third question is, are you happy on your work? Yes or no? And the fourth question is, do you really want to work until 65 years and you're going to be more sick and more poor? Do you really want that? He said, no. Sixth question. Now, can you share you how I work my business Nikan? Okay. And I create a system because what understand? What the system. I gotta share to you my system. Sorry, guys, in French, but okay. The first thing I did is the video, 10-minute video in French, of course, about this book. The Business of 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki, who I explained the quadrant, cash flow quadrant, right?
Right.
I never say nothing about Niken. I don't say nothing about product. I just say business is network marketing. First, share that. And only the last 6 weeks, I shared that around 200 people. I have received 300 views, more than 300 views. It's easy to share. You see that? That's my first step. I just want to be sure.
Easy to share.
Easy to share.
Easy to share. That's how things go viral.
And I just explained about network marketing on my video, okay, in French. I don't know, it can translate in English, I don't know. When I made my follow-up, what did you like on my video? If you say, oh, network marketing is not for me, blah, 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 next. I don't say like Dave Brock, next. But he said, I can understand how. I shared him this book in French, making my first 10 million. Read that, 15 minutes, I call you back. That's fine. Step 2. When you finish, I make a follow-up. I said, what did you like? He said, oh, network marketing. Sounds good. I know why. But how? Huh? No problem. I have a video for that on this book in French. I share him the video. Nothing about Nikan and nothing about the product. I have my bottle on the table and they'll say nothing about my Nikan bottle. I don't want to sell the bottle later, right? That's after. I have another question for you. And I sent to video Mike, the video, I like it, you see, for the test, just for curiosity, you know?
The one where we do the test with the necklace?
Yeah. You did. I share that always. Said with 2 more questions. He said, sounds good. Who's that guy? That's my coach. He's multimillionaire. That guy, it's my coach, personal coach. Number 1. Oh, yes. Okay, can I have a Zoom with him? Don't worry. After that, I share nothing about Nikan again. Nothing about the product. I said, I have another question for you guys. Oh, yeah. How do you like to make between $1,000 to $5,000 a month part-time, 5 or 10 hours a week? Oh, sounds good. I sent to you another video. That's me. I did the video shortly, and I explained. It's follow. You see, all the 5 steps. Nothing about Nikan again. Nothing about product. And the hand who said, what's the business? What's the product? And I have another thing I share to him. Everything I do is by messenger. Easy. Each time I made a new contact in a restaurant or everything, are you messenger? Yes. Okay, what's your name? Oh, easy. Share the first one. I show to you the video. I begin with that. I follow with that. I follow with that. My system easy to duplicate. You see, that's how I work. I don't know if you like it, but and the last one, sixth step, I have 5 video of Nikken product and my link for my webpage. But you know the Nikken, the last step, not the first one. I don't start with the product. I start with the business. Ding, 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 path. You see? Sounds good? Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds
That's-
very good. And
So-
any questions, guys?
Well, I just am reminded of there has to be an interest in the business, but if there isn't some kind of spark that takes off with the product, like there are many network marketing businesses, and we could ask the same question. We could be representing many different companies, and would you like to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month? With every company, we could start like that, and it would be legit. If there isn't an additional spark with the product, like, you know, Dave Johnson with a sleep system, or Reed with some kind of product on his son in the football
Pause that
field,
thought.
or,
Pause that
you know.
thought. 2 tried and proven network marketers who didn't need to be convinced about network marketing.
Right.
So it's not the same situation. Yes, those guys needed to know the distinction between Nikken and something else. But what we're talking about is expanding into a market that doesn't even know what network marketing is, or doesn't
Right.
even appreciate it. So what Leo's doing is he's converting ignorance
Right.
into people who want to know, okay, you got me past the network marketing hump. What do you got? What's the deal?
Right.
And then he can do the razzmatazz with the Nikken products.
Right.
So he's expanding his reach into a market of people who are not familiar with network marketing or are misunderstand network marketing.
You see, can I add something? When I introduced to Nikken 26 years ago, a couple, Jeanette and Claude, I don't know if Mike can remember them, but he asked me for Nikken. Jeanette, she's my sponsor. She left. She's my sponsor. She do a demo test. I'm so impressed. But she tried to sell me and so when she's finished, give me $100 for you. Why? Then so I have extra for you. Give me $100. I said, Jeanette, I'm broke. I don't have money. I have borrowed $40 to come here. I don't have $100 to you. But she's insists because she's a saleswoman. And I just go. And the boyfriend said, Leo, stop. Jeanette, shut your fucking mouth. They said right now. He just Jeanette.
We didn't hear that.
Beep, okay. Leo, sit down. I said, Claude, why? I don't have money for that. No, I go to show you how to make money. I don't have $100 for Henso, but I find the money for my demo pack and carrier pack. You see the difference? Because it showed me how to make money, not how to spend money. Okay.
Okay, we can wrap it up right there because that's it, guys. People,
Just one thought on that too, Michael, and addressing that. I used to call it return on investment. So if I could show somebody what the value of spending $100 would mean over time, it changed the conversation. So like what was said to Leo, instead of spending $100, he spent $1,500 because the return was explained to him as to the value of that expenditure. So when you're talking to somebody else, what you have to understand is what they don't understand. Because you can't communicate from your perspective. You have to understand to communicate to what they need to know. And so that's why the questions need to be asked. So, you know, you see this guy on the street and he's just standing there by himself, and you say to him, well, would you be interested in making an extra $5,000 to a complete stranger? Now, if that guy happens to need to make $5,000, if the guy just lost his job, if he's about to get divorced, if he's about to lose something, he might turn to you and say, do I need to make $5,000 a month? What do you got? If he were in that circumstance. But what we don't know is who's in that circumstance. So therefore, what we have to keep in mind is it's the activity that we must do that we know creates the results. Who and with whom, when and where, we don't know.
Let
So
me
that's
also,
the key point.
thanks, Dave. And let me also point out that Leo is hunting for a business partner. He is not looking for a customer. None of this activity that he's doing, this reaching out, is about finding a customer. He's looking for a business partner. He may end up with a customer, but that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for a business partner. So what are you looking for? What are, if you don't have your business door open because you only have your retail store open, then you're going to see that the results are going to be consistent with what you're attracting. So the business store versus the retail store, which one is going to produce the results that are in line with what you have as a goal? Think about that. Now, if I said to somebody, if I could show you how to turn 1,500 into 15,000, would you be interested? Anybody here on the call earn 15,000 with Nikan? Anybody? I didn't say in a month, just in total. 15. Has anybody here on the call
yes,
raised,
of course.
has earned 15,000? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have turned your investment into a return on investment. How many people would like that?
Gobs full.
Right? So I can't believe we have to beat this dead horse every week, but it seems to be the case that's what's necessary. That's what people are looking for 9 out of 10 times is not better health. It's better finances. It's a more secure financial picture. And better health is a sidebar. How they get it, they don't even care. They could be selling whatever, socks. It doesn't really matter to what they're selling. It matters that they're able to generate an income that is in alignment with what it is that they need. If it just so happens to be these fancy socks that make people's feet turn pink and warm and all that, and it makes them feel good about that, hey, that's great. I didn't know how great Nikan products really were until I went to Ben Dunkelman's house. So Ben Dunkelman, very wealthy, 75-year-old, who started a company in Canada called Tip Top Tailors. And anybody in Toronto's seen the Tip Top Tailor building down on the waterfront. He had a retail outlets called Tip Top Tailor, men's clothing, suits, and so forth. So he gets into Nikan. In the first few weeks or whatever, we were doing business in Nikan, showing up at the wellness previews in a beautiful long coat with his fedora hat always. Handsome looking guy, mid-70s. Anyway, back then we used to use audio cassettes to promote Nikan. The share, what's the fastest way to share? Well, then it was an audio cassette. Let the tape do the talking. So he calls me up and says he needs to get some more tapes. Would I mind driving down to deliver them? He lived all the way down in the city, and he lived in a high-rise, nice penthouse type place. Anyway, so I thought, what the hell? So I get in my car, I drive all the way there to bring him his cassettes. He invites me into his house. I can see it in my mind's eye like it was yesterday. I'm sitting to his left. He's sitting to my right, little table in between these two nice chairs in his living room in his condo. And he says to me, Mike, I haven't been able to sleep on this sleep system, with a very concerned look and tone in his voice. And I'm like, why? Thinking, what's wrong? And he gets that impression from me, and he's like, oh no, it's not that. It's just that every time I get my Nikan pad, I loan it to a friend and they won't give it back to me. And I'm like, what? He says, but I got smart this week and I ordered 3. And the last 3 nights, I've been sleeping on the pad. And he looks at me deadpan in my eyes and says, Mike, I feel 15 years younger. And that's when I got like choked up and I was like, what? That's when I realized, for real? Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, that really struck me. And I walked out of that place thinking, holy cow, I found the best thing since sliced bread. I was already in Nikken. I was already building. I was already recruiting, but it didn't really hit home like it did that day in Ben Dunkelman's living room, what kind of a transformation these products could be on people. See, there wasn't so much about the product, but it just so happens to be great that it is a product that can have that kind of an effect, that can transform lives like that. So we don't need to belabor that point because we know it, we understand it, and people who get to connect to it will get the value of that as well. But the question here on this call, not any other call in Nikken, this call, are you on this call to learn how to become a better salesperson, or are you on this call to learn how to recruit an army? Why are you here? Because if you want to talk about selling products, we can talk till we're blue in the face. But if you want to talk about building a network marketing army of people who are enthusiasts and enthusiastic about their future because they see a viable business opportunity, that's why we're on this call. That's what this call is about. Aligning with success. What kind of success? Dave, how many millions have you earned? Lots.
Oh, lots, many.
Mike, how many? Lots. That's the alignment we're talking about. Aligning with this success story, these success stories. That's what this call is about. Any other Nikken calls I can't speak to, but I don't want to talk about anything else. I want to talk about how you can turn your enthusiasm for Nikken and your desire for a better life into something that moves mountains, because there's a lot of people out there waiting to hear that story.
That's
and
the
we're
key,
too
guys.
busy worrying about whether the frickin' socks are for sale.
What comes out of your mouth is what's so important, because it's what other people hear and act upon. That's how you make your money. It's not what you do, it's what other people do. And if you're not, again, it's so here's the beauty of what you've got with this call. I don't care what your circumstance or situation is. Mike and I have a strategy and a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to go to. Hands down, piece of cake. No questions asked. But the key to it is you got to go do it. That's really where the rubber is going to meet the road. You got to get into the do part. So again, we're at the last week of the month. We're coming up to December in another week. Next Monday will be our first call for the first week. So really think about setting a goal that you want to get in the month of December. And with earnest, make the decision and the intention that you're going to do what's necessary. And then let us know what the goal is, what your plan is, what your strategy is, and then we'll tweak it every week until you get that goal done. Simple. That's what this is about.
And by the way, if you're thinking December is not a good time, I signed up December 19. Actually, I submitted my paperwork December 16. Nikken received it and confirmed it December 19. So Mike DiMuccio started his Nikken journey in December. And what I was doing in December was gathering up the team. I was gathering up the people. You're going to have many opportunities to meet people that you probably don't see very often. And what were we talking about? We were talking about what was going to happen in January. So the December conversation was what was going to happen, what was an imminent, impending event. January 2nd was going to be the launch of Nikken in Canada. So the conversations in December that gathered people around the fire was, what could possibly happen if we do this well come January? So what could you be talking about? What could possibly happen if we do this well come January? That could be your December conversation with everybody you meet, because you have an impending plan to meet with destiny come January, our 2025 year, our 50th anniversary year in Nikken, our launch of Nikken the next 35 years. That's what's at stake. And lives can be changed. Many have. You know, I was talking with my daughter tonight. I said, or yeah, it was earlier this evening. And I said, you know, Luis announced that to me that he's going to tenfold the company. He's going to 10x the company by 2030. That's the goal. I said, you think it's me that's going to do that? It's not me. It's going to be who comes next. They're going to be the ones who 10x the company. I just hope they're in my downline somewhere. So
No, they're going to be in mine, Michael. Sorry,
you know what, Dave? There's plenty to go around. We'll split it.
It's 9 p.m.
Right on. So, guys, please consider the possibility that you could be the instrument through which somebody gets their chance to get the big prize. You could be the vehicle, the means, the person, that voice, the one contact, the one phone call, the one ask that sets somebody up on a journey that will transform their life generationally. That happened to me.
And me.
Who's next? Don't be shy about this.
Give us a call. Give me a call. Talk,
Yeah.
you know.
We're here.
Whatever.
We're standing by. The operators are standing by. Have a great month end. Remember, it isn't over till it's over. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.